Hi, folks, and welcome to Making Sunday Lunch with me. Today, we are going to be making some delicious stewed oxtail without any pressure cooker, and it's going to be completely fall off the bone. Then, we are going to be making a very healthy rice to go with it, along with some fried plantains and some delicious coleslaw using my secret coleslaw dressing. To begin, let's go ahead and marinate our oxtails. We're going to season 3 pounds of oxtails that I already washed with vinegar. And we're going to add a teaspoon of black pepper. We're going to give this a very good seasoning. A lot of Caribbean countries cook their oxtails differently. Jamaica cooks it differently from Trinidad and Tobago. But this is how I like to cook oxtails. So I'm going to show you my recipe. Quarter cup of fresh onion. And I'm going to use about a tablespoon of ginger and reserve the rest for later. A tablespoon of garlic herb. Quarter cup of green seasoning that you can find in the description box. A teaspoon of chopped rosemary. 4 cloves of garlic. 1 teaspoon of fresh thyme. I like to season oxtail with a little bit of curry because when you start browning the meat, it gets a nice smokiness to it. So I'm using 1 tablespoon of curry powder. A tablespoon of all-purpose seasoning. 1 bay leaf. And a teaspoon of clove. I love to put ground clove in my meats, especially when it's kind of gamey, has a gamey smell like oxtail has. And I'm adding about half of a tablespoon of salt. We're going to reserve some of our herbs for the end of the cooking process. That gives it a nice fresh aspect to the dish. So we're going to leave this to marinate for about 1 hour. Up next, our delicious and healthy brown rice that is loaded with fiber and lots of vitamins. Let's salt our water for the rice. And I'm putting 3 cups of brown rice. Just because brown rice is a bit more healthier. We're going to boil this for about 18 minutes to 20 minutes. Or you can use the package instructions, and if you like it a little bit softer, you can definitely do that. And guys, please remember to subscribe to the channel. And we're going to cover this up and let it cook. After 25 minutes, the rice is done. So we're going to strain this off, and we're going to add some vegetables and make it look more pretty and get more healthy. The pot is nice and hot again, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I'm adding 1 tablespoon of flavor rice seasoning. If you don't have flavor rice, use whatever seasonings will be best for you. And we're going to try to make this rice as healthy as possible. I'm adding a cup of beans. These are frozen beans with corn. A tablespoon of dark soy sauce, which the soy sauce is optional. I'm just going to let the beans warm through because I still want to get a nice little crunch in the rice. The beans are soft, so I'm going to add back the rice to it. You don't have to make this amount of rice. You can make any amount of rice that pleases you or your household. And we're going to stir it up, and then we're going to add salt to taste. Making a healthy dish doesn't have to be going overboard. It's just a simple thing that adds value. I'm going to add some salt. Not a lot of salt, just a little bit of salt because the soy sauce already has its own salt content. Just about 1/4 teaspoon. And our rice is ready to be enjoyed with our delicious oxtails. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make a very delicious coleslaw using a coleslaw dressing. How can we forget the coleslaw? Coleslaw supports vision, skin health, and immune function. We are going to be making a coleslaw, and we have cabbage, white and purple cabbage with some carrots as our foundational vegetables. And let's go ahead and make our coleslaw dressing. We have a 3/4 cup of mayonnaise, and I'm going to build this off the top of my head, and I will add the recipe in the description box. 2 tablespoons of sugar, and I'm using granulated sugar for this. 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. Pour some acid. 1 tablespoon of whole milk. And we're going to add salt and pepper to taste. And this right here is a salt and pepper mix. Give it a whisk, and then we're going to adjust accordingly. I'm going to add a little bit more milk. Just add the 2 tablespoons. So I've added 2 tablespoons of milk. And this gave me the perfect consistency. Taste. Let's add the dressing to the coleslaw vegetables, and we're going to toss it. And this is even better overnight as it sits. Give it a toss, and I especially love to eat this coleslaw with sandwiches, colorful coleslaw to add to our oxtail menu. Plantains aren't only delicious, they are a good source of potassium. We're going to fry some plantains to add to our dish. These are ripe plantains, and now let's try to cut them on the bigger side. And in this pot I have a cup of oil. I don't know how many of you love plantains, but I just love me some fried plantains. I'm not a great fan of the boiled plantains too much. So we're going to fry these up until they're nice and golden, and we're going to flip them up. And let's flip our fried plantains. Let's remove our fried plantains. Finally, we are ready to cook our marinated oxtail. Enjoying cooking dinner with me? Give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe. Oxtail already has fat and it's going to be rendered. I can use browning, but I like to make my browning from scratch for my meats. So I'm adding 1 teaspoon of oil to a hot pot and 3 tablespoons of brown sugar into the oil. We're going to allow it to caramelize, which is going to happen very fast because the oil is hot, and get a nice Maillard reaction happening. Nice color. And I'm going to add the oxtails. I like my oxtails a little bit darker than the lighter browning. We're going to stir it up and allow the meat to spring its natural juices and allow the meat to get the color. So we're going to cover this up and allow it to spring its natural juices. Let's check on our meat. So it's sprung a lot of water. And oxtails generally take a lot of time to cook. And usually I will use a pressure cooker. But today I have a lot of time on my hands, so I won't do that. I will leave it to slowly cook. If you have a pressure cooker, definitely go ahead and use a pressure cooker. It saves you a lot of time. So from here I have the color that I'm looking for. And I'm going to add some water to this and let it slowly cook for about an hour and a half. I'm going to be adding 3 cups of water, and as time goes by, if it needs more water, I will just adjust accordingly. Let's check on the oxtails. It's now 1 hour and 30 minutes. And this is what they look like. They almost fall off the bone. Some of them are still on, depending on the parts. What I like to do now is to start seasoning this so it can go down and take up the rest of flavor as it gets more juicy and tender. For the herbs, we're adding some green onions. I don't have any Chadon Beni. If I had Chadon Beni, I would definitely be using it. I'm adding a tablespoon of fresh ginger again, a teaspoon of fresh garlic, 3 allspice berries, a little bit of black pepper, 2 tablespoons of tomato ketchup, 1 cup of coconut milk, 1 beef bouillon cube, and the last thing we're going to add is salt. So let's taste this first. And we're going to add the salt at the end and allow the bouillon cube to get in there. Salt is the very last thing that we're going to be adding. So we're going to cover it up and let it reduce. This doesn't need any salt at all because the bouillon has reduced. And we have some beautiful pieces of fall off the bone oxtail. Our stovetop fall off the bone oxtails are done. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some other recipe videos right here on the Potspoon Kitchen, and you can find breakfast recipes as well. Thank you for joining. See you in the next video.